my name is Robert George, and in today's video I'm going to teach you how to think like a millionaire. Of course, I'm not yet a millionaire, but I took this mental framework from a millionaire, so it must work. Of course, now you don't need to use any kind of techniques like the Pomodoro technique or any kind of stupid things here in order to make this work. There's one thing you need to understand, is that you have to open your mind. You cannot be viewing the world in a subjective way. So without right now me selling you any course or me trying to persuade you into buying something from me, I'm going to teach you how to actually think like a millionaire and make some motherfucking money. So let's go. How to actually think like a millionaire. I have studied and looked at a ton of millionaires and what are the common things in them, and it's easy, it's their thinking and how do they think. And I learned this mental framework which is called critical thinking. Now of course your shiny object syndrome will tell you that nah, I'm not interested anymore. Critical thinking, it seems hard, I'm going to go away. Of course, if you want to go. But if you want to learn something which will actually take you to the next level, then this is the thing what you are missing. What is critical thinking? Critical thinking is a mental framework, a mental model which you can use in order to view something and think about something in an objective way. And why do you need this? Because let's say you are creating a product around anything, or you're creating, or you just want to make sure that you have a good cold outreach or anything. If you can't view it in an objective way of how a good cold outreach looks like, then you are not going to have good cold outreach. And why? Because we are viewing the world in a subjective way. This is how we view the world. This is you here, and there is a bias here, and this is the world. Now, the bias is how we view the world. And let's say I just delete this here and it's going to be red. Then how you view the world from your perspective is going to be that the world is red. It can be any kind of color here. It can be green, it can be blue. If you have a red bias, you are going to view the world in the red bias. It can be green, but you still view the world in the red bias. So, in order to make something to work, you need to make sure that you can think objectively without using biases. Now, how do we do the critical thinking? There is 6 steps that you need to do in order to make this work. So let me do this. First is removing yourself. Now what is that? In order for you to think subjectively about something, you need to remove yourself. You can't be in the thing. Like for an example, if you're thinking about why is a problem in a group of people, like let's say your friend group, there's some problem, 1 person, 2 person, 3 person, 1, 2, 3, there's a problem here in this group. You can't name them like this is John, my friend, this is, I don't know, Adam, or I don't even know English names. You can only say that person number 1, person number 2 and person number 3, because otherwise you're going to view that thing again in a bias, in the subjective way. So you need to remove yourself in any kind of thing you're thinking about. This is the first step. Second step is going to be identifying objects. Identify objects. Now, as you have seen, as I've drawn down something, it's how you view the world, is the biases, like how you view the world. I have drawn down a person, a wall and the world. And this is the object. I wanted to tell you how you view the world, and I've drawn it down by some objects. So what you're going to do is, when thinking about the actual thing, like you want to talk about or you want to think through, it can be cold outreach for example right now, what you're going to do is that you're going to create some object which is going to build the whole thing you're thinking through. Let's say it's cold outreach for example, because it's easier for you to understand. This is cold outreach. Like, what are the objects in cold outreach? Like, it must be one around a person who who you are sending a message to. Like this is, for an example, cold outreach. There's a message, you are sending it to that person. It can be, of course, on a platform that is also matters, but you have to create the objects in your thing you are thinking through. This is the second step. Now comes the third, which is identify relationship. That is free. In the same way, if you're thinking through cold outreach, there is a message, there is a person, and there is a platform. For example, this is cold outreach. How does it work? The message is going to be sent to the person on a platform. Let's say this is a relationship. The platform is going to be used in order to be sent. This is a really bad drawing. This is not correct. If I want to make it correct, this is how it looks like. The message is going on the platform and the platform on the person. That's how it would look like. This is relationship in the objects you have identified. Now, here comes the fourth thing. Identify timeline. Now what is that? Now let's say we go back to the other example, which is your friend group, person 1, person 2, person 3. If you think about this, we have to know what happened before when we get to the point of we have a problem. Let's say this person hates this person and this person loves these persons. Now what happened to this relation here that that person, number 1, hates number 3? And we have to identify a timeline, like from the point of, let's say, 1 year from now, or even from the start of the friend group and to now. If we want to understand the problem, we have to make sure that we write down each and every step that happens on this timeline, and after that we can solve the problem by it. This is number 4, and we go now to number 5, which is remove emotion. Had to think about it for a second. Remove emotion from what you're thinking through. It can be like you're thinking through the friend group, and as you think about, let's say, a problem, you get emotional. Even though you're not in the thing you're thinking through, you get emotional. And what you need to do is hold and stop for a moment. Just accept that you have an emotion. And after that you have accepted that you have an emotion, stay there and think that, just, how do you say this in English? Just enable that emotion to flow out from you. Like, think about, okay, I have this emotion around this thing. I don't want it, go away. That's all, literally. This was the 5th, and here comes the next one, and it's remove loops. Now, if we have the objects and the relationships, there can be some things where each object refers to another one in some loops, and that loop has to be eliminated, because otherwise it's not going to work. Like, for an example, if this is object 1 and object 2 and object 3, this is how it looks like, and it's this here, then this here, this back and forth. This is a loop because you can go back and forth here. It's a loop, it's going to be again and again and again and again. So it's not going to work like this. This is not a good thing. You have to redo the object thing and the relationship in order to make this work. Now this was how I realized and used a millionaire's thinking method of critical thinking, which have actually right now have made me no money, but will make me in the long term, because this is one of the best things you can do right now in the world, because no one wants to do things which is hard, and this is hard to do. So yeah, I have already made a ton of videos similar to this where you can learn something from me which I teach on this same whiteboard. Have a good day and I will see you later.